What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 11 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Happy New Year to everyone. We're hopping right back into things. I know we've been a little kind of all over the place, so we're trying to get back into a little bit more of a schedule. So this is a team that I've wanted to build for a while. I just really haven't gotten around to it, and the main reason for this team is Rotom Mow. Rotom Mow is one of my favorite Pokemon, and this was actually kind of supposed to be a celebration of the announcement of Hisui and Voltorb. So that should say a little bit about kind of how long I've been dragging my feet on this. So a little bit about the team. It is a Reshiram team. I thought Reshiram went really well with Rotom Mow, just mainly due to the fact that they cover each other's weaknesses very well. Having Levitate on Rotom Mow is huge. Reshiram has a fire resistance. It takes most air type or flying type attacks pretty well, and just overall they're really good synergy. Reshiram really is a strong sort of max option with access to ground, fire, and dragon, and the fact that like these are some really heavy hitting moves. So next up, like I said, is Rotom. Rotom, really a good answer for Kyogre, right? Being able to sponge a lot of the hits, having dual stabs that are super effective on it, and then also having Will-O-Wisp. I found Will-O-Wisp has come in handy just in so many different situations, being able to really just nerf a lot of Pokemon and get a lot of residual chip that builds up in the long run. Next up is Urshifu. Urshifu, pretty standard. It just kind of hits hard, and yeah, we all know what it does. I thought it was a really good physical attacker, and it really helped out for the team. Next up, we do have Tapu Fini. So this is a more support-oriented version. We did go really physically defensive, and just the idea that we can get some really big chip with things like Nature's Madness. We also do have Moonblast and Ice Beam for coverage, mainly because of the fact that we do have Sun. So like having Scald, not really ideal, whereas Ice Beam can get really big damage on things like Landorus. Moonblast, always really great coverage, and then yeah, obviously Protect, and then trying to optimize for leftovers recovery as much as possible. Next up, we have Tornadus. So I really wanted to have a good Tailwind user, and so my first thought was Tornadus. I really thought it got Sunny Day. Turns out it just gets Rain Dance, but that's fine. We do have Heat Wave, like I said, because of the fact that we are utilizing the sun, and having that option is really great. Taunt for stopping opposing prankster users, and also just things that really like to set up. And then we are using Mental Herb, mainly because we have Focus Sash on Urshifu, and just having sort of that really good way of trying to say, hey, even if you like win a speed tie or get a taunt off, we can still go for the Tailwind, mainly because of the fact that we are actually not max speed. We went fairly bulky on the Tornadus. We are able to outspeed the Tauros by 1 point, which I thought was really crucial to avoid speed ties there. And then finally, we do have Tauros. Tauros, I thought, filled a lot of really good roles on the team, primarily being an Intimidate user, and also giving us more speed control with things like Icy Wind. And also, it does have Sunny Day, so I really wanted a way to set up for Reshiram, and Torkoal didn't really make sense, so I think Tauros really filled that role. It also is really fast, which is huge, and then Double Edge just kind of has nice coverage. So Tauros is able to outspeed Garchomp by 1 point, and similarly Landorus, and then Tornadus is able to outspeed that by 1. So we do have the rental code on the screen. We will have the paste in the, we have the rental code in the screen. We'll have the paste in the description, and with that, let's just get rocking and rolling and move into the first game. All right, battle number 1, and quickly before we hop into that, be sure to stay tuned till the end of the video, just where I'm going to give some updates on things. I want to talk a little bit about Series 12 and giveaway and all that jazz, but that's going to be at the end. So looking at my opponent's first team, it is a Zacian team. It is Sableye Urshifu with Regieleki, a Zacian Charizard, and Dusclops. So what? I like Tauros a lot here. I think the Intimidate is really big. I think Sunny Day is really big. I'm going to go with Tornadus with Reshiram, and then bring Rotom and Tauros in the back. I think that makes the most sense. I think Reshiram is a really good answer for Zacian. We will be able to tank some hits pretty well. We can kind of do just a lot of different things. From there, I think having the potential second Will-O-Wisp for Zacian in the event that we need it with Rotom is huge, and obviously, like, we're trying to show that off. So, yeah, let's kind of see. All right, we are going to see Dusclops Regieleki. So there are a lot of different ways that this can go, mainly due to the fact that you can Helping Hand, but Helping Hand isn't really super useful. I don't want to sack Tornadus. I'd rather get a Taunt off on Dusclops, and I mean, you could just switch out into Charizard, which would be like feels bad, but if you switch out into Charizard, like if you switch out into Charizard though, what that means is you are not dealing damage into my Torn, but I mean, it doesn't matter. We are going to see the max Aleki. Yes, that's what I figured. I did not expect it to be a max Dusclops. So this should be a Helping Hand, right? That tells me you're going to go for a Helping Hand, most likely max Lightning into the Torn. Also, fun thing that happens is, I don't know if people saw, my Reshiram keeps disappearing. Don't really know why. It only does it when it's in small form, not when it's in big form. That would be really funny if there was just no Dynamax Pokemon. It's only Reshiram. If anyone knows why that is, like, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, so we do have big Reshiram. We should be able to take a hit from Aleki fairly well. We are going to see a Max Guard, so that's fine. Get the Taunt off on Dusclops to prevent any sort of Trick Room shenanigans, which it's fine to lose out on the Max Quake due to the fact that we can get a Tailwind up. Yeah, we stop the Trick Room, which is huge. We now have the option of just going for a Tailwind, followed immediately by a Max Quake onto the Aleki. You can try and, I guess, protect, but not really. I guess not really what you want to do. We do have Reshiram, I think, in a really good sort of position now, being able to outspeed Aleki, which, yeah, we are going to get that Tailwind up. Dusclops has to go for, I'm guessing, a Nightshade, as they are going to choose to stay in, as we're going to see Shadow Sneak, which is interesting, because I don't know what on their team would carry a weakness policy for that. And also, it looks like no Sash on Aleki? No Sash on Aleki is huge. Yeah, because now we can just keep taunting into Dusclops to stop it from shenanigans. We did bring Rotom. I don't think and we didn't bring Urshifu. So we'll figure out how to deal with Torn. I mean, not Torn, with Dusclops in the endgame. We are going to see Urshifu come out. I would like to Heat Wave, and let's go for a Max Flare onto the Urshifu. Okay, they are going to cancel. I think that made sense, just given the fact that we really were able to stop them so early, and Zacian not really going to be able to do much from that point. So we don't even need to worry about how to beat Dusclops, because, yeah. So overall, a fairly quick one, but I still think a pretty representative way to start things off. So with that, let's just keep rocking and rolling and move into the next game. All right, battle number 2, and it is another Zacian team. It is Rillaboom Incineroar with Zacian Moltres, a Colossal, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. Reshiram Torn feels just like a very safe lead here, mainly due to the fact that this will let me outspeed the Colossal, and Reshiram just gets really big damage overall. I can't really justify Rotom here. As much as I would love to, I can't. Let's think. What else do I want? Feeny feels... I like Feeny a lot. I'm thinking Feeny and Urshifu, right? Because we do have Will-O-Wisp, but it's not really going to do much. Yeah, you're not going to like Cole. Tauros. I mean, the Intimidate is nice, but probably not going to do too much. So I think this is really kind of our best option of dealing with things. Being able to do things like set up the sun is going to be really... we don't want to set up the sun because, what's it called? We aren't super afraid of Urshifu. So we'll see here how they want to play things out. We are going to see Urshifu, so this looks like Urshifu pull. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, we should be. Yeah, we're gonna be faster with Tailwind. I thought Max Flare was super effective on Cole for some reason. I mean, it's pretty easy to counter this. Okay, because I was gonna say what my opponent could do is very easily just switch out into what's it called? Into Moltres, but it looks like they didn't switch out. We are modest max speed. So how much? What do we hit? We are gonna hit. Let's see what we hit. 142. So 284. I think they might still outspeed us, which is scary. Because I don't think we're going to survive a Volcalith. And by I don't think we're definitely not going to survive a Volcalith. So that's a big question. God, I forget how much that does. Yeah, let's see how this works out. Yes, trigger your policy. We all know what's going to happen. If we don't get this, yeah, we need to win the speed tie. Okay, you're going to Volcalith. That's sad. Into Reshiram. Please live. You're not going to. Oh, you do. Okay. You know, we'll take it. We should have, what, one more turn? Yeah, you go away. Perfect. I didn't expect to live, but you know, we'll take it. So now with Colossal gone, we should have one more hit left with Reshiram, where we do have to worry about we do have to worry about Urshifu going for a potential Aqua Jet, but not the worst thing. Oh wait, oh no, just kidding. We go down to Life Orb, oh, okay, cool. We live rocks, so we do have to worry about a very obvious Aqua Jet, which most likely is going to happen to take out Reshiram, which is not ideal, but it's also fine. We are going to see Moltres come out. I'm going to Flare anyway and go for Heat Wave. We just want to get damage off because we do have ways of dealing with it in the back. Yeah, we are going to see that Aqua Jet come out. I really would have liked, wish I had gone Flare, but I mean, it is what it is. We were at 4. We weren't living that. Heat Wave, we are going to miss. Oh, did we miss? Please burn. No? Okay. I was hoping for a burn to make up for you missing. We do have our owner Shifu in the back, which I don't want to bring out. Oh yeah, that's bad. Let's bring out Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini, you know, Tapu Fini is a really good answer for Moltres, because Moltres not really going to be able to do much. Yeah, we don't have to worry about our Shifu, which is good for us. We will have to obviously be a little bit wary of Zacian, but we do have Heat Wave, and we do have Urshifu with the Sash in the back. So I would like to Moonblast here and go for a Heat Wave. We should be able to live an Aqua Jet on Torn. Please say, yep, okay, we do. Love to see that. Heat Wave comes out. Please burn. Please burn. I mean, we'll get a crit, so it works out. Moonblast comes out onto you. Please KO. Why does nothing ever work out? I mean, to be fair, I have 4 special attack on Tapu Fini, so like, don't really expect that much. Okay, let's think about this. We can. We have Urshifu left, whereas they have Urshifu. We are at -1. Close. We can double up. No. Moonblast here and close combat here. With the idea that if we KO Moltres, we go down to rocks, then we have to, I mean, we're going to lose to Zacian. We need a double KO here, which Urshifu doesn't have the best special defense, and we broke a Sash. If we get the double KO, we do have a chance as, please, 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 please. Okay, perfect. One down. Tapu Fini will hit off, and if we get that, that means we have 2 hits in theory onto Zacian. Please KO. That's not KO. That's really bad. Close combat is going to KO Urshifu. Yeah, you're gonna bring me down to Sash, then rocks. So unfortunately, we're not gonna. Yeah, if we had gotten the KO here, that would have been really big for us, because then we would have had full HP. Well, rocks 8 HP Urshifu versus their Zacian, unless they didn't bring it. You know, there is that chance. We are still faster with Fini, so we can freeze. Nope, we're not faster. Yeah, so we're gonna just go down to Behemoth Blade here. Unless this isn't Zacian? Oh! I mean, it's worse. It's 100% worse. It's Rillaboom, so what? Yeah, that... Cole is tricky, I think, because of the fact that they were faster than... I mean, obviously them being faster than us is huge. What? Yeah, you're gonna hit me through here. That looks like you're going for a Wood Hammer. Which... Yeah, we're gonna see the Wood Hammer. I'm guessing you're trying not to chance it. Yeah. KOing you would have been huge, because then we double protect. We double protect, then we have a Wicked Blow and an Ice Beam onto Rillaboom, and then it would have been close. Whereas now we can do this and we'll get KO'd. So what? Yeah, we get it. You're gonna just KO me with a Wood Hammer. Let's think. Rotom would have actually been really good here. Over what we brought Urshifu. Urshifu was nice because it KO'd Moltres. Rotom would have actually been fine over Urshifu, because then we could have KO'd back. We could have still KO'd with Thunderbolt, and that would have let us have an answer for Urshifu. I'm actually a little curious. Let's see, because this is good to know. Super bulky. Interesting you didn't just go for Grassy Glide. You are Miracle Seed. Citrus Ensign. You can see that, so not a big deal. Zacian, I would have brought it, but I mean, fine. Play rough Zacian, yeah, so it made sense. Bulky Moltres with AV. Okay, so AV is why you were able to take hits so well. That would have also been very good to know. Weakness policy on Cole. Are you max special attack, max speed, and you're timid? Okay. So modest, I think we outspeed, but we would go down to, and then Urshifu is, yeah, Focus Sash. So pretty standard, and it makes sense that the things work out the way they did. I think, yeah, Rotom would have actually been in a pretty decent position, but it is what it is, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 3, and it is Lugia. It is Landorus Lugia with Suicune, a Clefable, Kartana, and Raichu. So this says you are Weakness Policy Lugia, that you proc with Raichu going for a Volt Switch. I like Urshifu a lot. Urshifu, I think, is big. We haven't really done anything with Tauros. Torn Fini. Fini feels good into most things that aren't Kartana, but we also do have Heat Wave with Urshifu and Reshiram. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're not really bringing Rotom, but does Tauros make sense? No, no. Let's do this. I think having Fini as a max, while not ideal, isn't like the worst thing. I wish I had made it a little bit more offensive. I think that's one thing that this team struggles a little bit with, is the fact that a lot of it isn't really that offensive, right? It's mainly just Reshiram and Urshifu, whereas Fini really relies on Nature's Madness. Tauros really there for support. Tornadus doesn't even have stab, and then Rotom, I mean, uses passive damage from Will-O-Wisp, which when you're facing Lugia, not really helpful. But I still think it's fine. Lando obviously not gonna like Fini. Lugia depends on the set. Yeah, we have Urshifu, so it should be fine. We will see Lugia, right? Probably Lugia Raichu. Yep, Lugia Raichu makes the most sense here. So we do have Calm Mind on Torn, which I think is something worth remembering, just because of the fact that we can stop setup on Lugia. So let's go for the Tailwind. We could Hailstorm. Let's Hailstorm Lugia. My thought process here is this will let us outspeed Raichu, and if we can really tick away at how much HP Lugia has, that's good for us. Obviously, having access to Urshifu in the back is helpful here, because we can just punch it as hard as we need to, as we will see potentially Nomax. Nomax could be huge, right? Because that means that we are going to get double the damage up. They could also, I mean, oh, they can't nuzzle Fini. So that's really good for us. We will get some chip damage off. We can then try and go for a taunt to stop a potential recover, which would be great, as yeah, no max. So could just be interesting. Okay, they're just gonna let me have the Hailstorm. Oh my goodness. Oh, Fini, why do you do no damage? Yeah, we're gonna proc your policy. I think that's fine, because Lugia still isn't gonna hit that hard. Please Volt Switch. Okay, Nuzzle into Torn. Not ideal, but fine. Let's see what Lugia does. Lugia Calm Minds. Okay, so we are gonna see setup Lugia. We should definitely try to taunt it. Getting off a taunt, I think, would be huge here. That will really set up, yeah, I mean, that prevents you from going for things like recovery, especially now, right? Like, given how little you saw from, what's it called, from the Hailstorm, you're very inclined to go for that. So I think if we get a, nope, not that button. Taunt off, I think, would be huge onto this Lugia, as well as another Hailstorm, just because what that'll do is that will, I expect to see either a recover or another Calm Mind, just saying, hey, you're not doing any damage. Smart. Very smart there. We are revealing Taunt, so that's not ideal. Second Hailstorm comes out, we're going to do like 6 damage. Probably 6 damage. God, Fini, please do something. Volt Switch comes out into Torn. Torn takes that, that's fine. We do get to see a little bit more of my opponent's team. We also are revealing that we do have Taunt, which can be a really big deterrent for that Lugia, right? It doesn't want to get set up. It's going to be taking additional chip and not having access to good recovery. So really helpful for us. We are going to see Suicune come out. So Suicune, I think, find the Tailwind here. I think just targeting down Lugia is what's most ideal. If we lose Torn, we lose Torn. Yeah, because Lugia, okay, Lugia's at half, which is good for us. We just want to keep putting pressure on that slot, because it is going to be our opponent's really just best option. Fini, I think, can beat Suicune in the endgame. Let's just go for another taunt here. I could taunt Suicune. No, I care way more about damaging Lugia. We could see a switch, which would be ideal. The taunt is tempting because what we can do then is we can stop a Tailwind from their Suicune, as we are going to see a max. I would be shocked if this is Lugia, but also like not shocked. It very well could be Lugia, and it probably is. Okay, it is going to be Lugia. We just need what? We need you to not Airstream. If you Airstream in Tailwind, bad day. We get the taunt off, ideal. Okay, good. We are going to get a Hailstorm off, which is great for us. It's going to do a smidge, but okay, it's going to do a very small smidge. Icy Wind, okay, Icy Wind is fine. Icy Wind I can live with all day long. We should see a potential Airstream from Lugia onto Torn. Yep, okay, Airstream, please be onto Torn, to Feeny. That's not ideal. That is very not ideal. Because Lugia now is at +1. Unless Torn gets taken, I actually need Torn to go down to the Hail. If Torn goes down to Hail, we're in really good shape. 10. Okay, perfect. We should. Yeah, we still have turns of Tailwind left. What we can do now is we bring out Urshifu. Urshifu. We know Lugia cannot protect because we got the taunt off, which means that we have access to Nature's Madness into Suicune to bring it down to half. We should be able to KO Lugia. So we bring you out. If you switch out into Raichu, Raichu will go down. You shouldn't have anything that wants to take a Wicked Blow. That's good for us. And Suicune, as far as I know, shouldn't be able to one-shot Urshifu. So let's just Wicked Blow here because we can. No, I want to Nature's Madness into Suicune, just trying to get as much damage as possible onto it. And by as much damage, 50% is, you know, always really nice. So let's see how this kind of works out. Yeah, Lugia has to attack, which is great. We saw that you are only at +1 speed. We still have the Tailwind, so Urshifu will be faster. Urshifu, I mean, I know Lugia is bulky, but you don't have Scale active, and you're so low that, like, you should go. Like, Urshifu just hits hard. It's a critical hit. So we'll see how this plays out. No switch, so great for us. Perfect. Lugia is going to go down. A definitely lucky critical hit there. Jokes. So cool. And let's see now. Suicune going for a Tailwind here. That is fine. We should still outspeed with Urshifu. We will get the Nature's Madness off, which is great because that puts you at 50%. I would have ideally have liked to have taunted. I mean, we could have taunted into Suicune in hindsight, but I think it works out fine. Tapu Fini at this point is the slowest thing on the field. We will see leftovers on Suicune, so that's good to know. We know that you have Snarl, we know that you have Tailwind. Let's see. We no longer have Tailwind. Okay, so that's fine. Raichu not going to like Shifu very much. Okay, we will see Landorus. Do I just Wicked Blow? Let's Wicked Blow Suicune and go for an Ice Beam onto Landorus. Right, you can, if you Earthquake, you hit your Suicune. We will see a Stray Scald into Urshifu, please live. Oh, Beast. Sick. Okay, Fly. Fly is fine, we can double protect. Oh yeah, wait, you can't burn me, there's a Terrain up. Haha. Wicked Blow, okay, perfect, into Suicune. Okay, so you'll go down to Hail. Great, so that's perfect. Ice Beam going to fail. That is bad. Okay, so we protect Urshifu. I'm expecting the Fly to go into Urshifu. So let's go for a protect here and Ice Beam into the Lando slot. Just to try and get the KO there. Yeah, you have to You have to land. I don't expect to see a double up into Fini. I mean, you could. Okay, we're gonna see a Scald. Smart into Fini. Fini gonna absolutely tank that. Love it. Fly perfect into Urshifu. This means that we get off the Ice Beam onto you. So that, oh my goodness, why can't KO anything? Oh god, Tapu Fini, you're killing me right now. Let's Sucker Punch the Suicune and go for another Ice Beam into Landorus, just out of necessity more than anything. We know that we know that Suicune has been attacking, so that is fairly good. We have seen Snarl, we have seen Tailwind, we have seen Scald, and I'm assuming you have Ice Beam as your last move. Sucker Punch, perfect, is going to connect. Thank goodness, we do get rid of Suicune. I did need to hold my breath there for a second. As Lando gonna go for the U-turn into Urshifu, that's fine. This lets you bring out Raichu. Raichu has to take the Ice Beam. Yeah, Raichu takes the Ice Beam, and then you're forced to bring out Lando again. This leads to a double protect scenario. Yeah, we can double protect to stop the fake out, then switch Urshifu to... Yeah, we can... Okay, so let's double protect because there's a fake out coming. Or do we predict a fly? I think Urshifu can beat Lando. Let's bring out Reshiram here. Moonblast the Raichu. Oh yeah, wait, we have a higher base speed. Urshifu is faster than Landorus. Okay, that's good to know. So we just need to get rid of Raichu. We do, I mean, no, because you can just go for Rock Slide. We will see the fake out into the Fini. I called that wrong. We will see a U-turn though. Perfect. Into Reshiram. Going to do absolutely nothing. Fini going to flinch, but we are going to start recovering a good amount of HP back. We're going to be at over half. Perfect. So what we do now is I'm going to protect Reshiram and go for an Ice Beam on Landorus. I'm not worried about Raichu that much. I mean, Nuzzle is scary. Nuzzle is scary, but we do want to preserve... Urshifu. Yeah, Urshifu should be able to beat Raichu one-on-one. We just need to get rid of Landorus. And I feel like it's Scarfed. Or not... I mean, I feel like it's definitely choiced, given that it has U-turn. I feel like U-turn is not really something you see outside of that, but could be wrong. We will see a Volt Switch, yeah, into Fini. It's fine. Okay, so you're not choiced. I lied. You could be Assault Vest. Love it. 38, please be above 0. 12 is above, just don't flinch. That's not what I said to do, but you know, we'll take it. We just Earth Power here and go for a Protect. This lets us live another Rock Slide as we try to get some damage up. You could Nuzzle and just try and Rock Slide for like flinch shenanigans, which I'm not saying I'm opposed to. I would just prefer you didn't. If you're gonna get the Protect off, this should be a Nuzzle into Reshiram. It's an Eerie Impulse into Reshiram, which I'll take that. I mean, it's fine. You're gonna get off a Rock Slide. We should live on Reshiram. Survey says, I mean, 71 is more than enough. We do connect with the Earth Power. That's huge. Raichu... Are you kidding me? You didn't go down? Okay. We Earth Power again. Ice Beam Landorus. We just need to not get frozen. I mean, not frozen. We just need to not get flinched. Oh god, that's so... We'll see a Volt Switch on the... Oh yeah, you just do that. You could miss. Miss the Rock Slide. Oh, we're faster. Oh. Oh, we're speed tied. What? I mean, okay. You're gonna Earthquake. You're gonna sacrifice Reshiram. That lets me bring out Urshifu. Given that we saw the speed tie, we know that, I mean, Reshiram... Let's just make sure Reshiram is faster. Or slower, 142 versus 163, yeah. So easy. We can now bring out Urshifu. Urshifu doesn't have any attack drops, and we should be able to just go for a Wicked Blow to finish things off. So make sure we hit the right button, Wicked Blow onto Landorus, and then, yeah, we can try and quote-unquote protect stall if need be, but, I mean, Lando is so low that this Wicked Blow should be able to finish them off, right? Survey says perfect. Yeah, that Raichu living was a little scary. Also, speed tying with their Landorus was a little scary, but you know that is kind of the way the game goes sometimes. Yeah, so overall, I think a solid set of games. I'm curious if we can see their team. Let us see it. Let us see it. Okay, so yeah, overall, a solid set of games. I do want to just quickly talk a little bit about where like the giveaway stands, and then some of my initial thoughts on Series 12. So, because this month was so busy, I actually have not finished shiny hunting everything for the giveaway this month. So as a result, we are going to push that back a little bit to probably the mid-month. Just, I mean, it gives more people time to enter, and more importantly, it makes sure that there are prizes, because, you know, that is kind of a thing. So yeah, look for that towards the middle of the month. We'll probably do some more rental teams and then get it there. You can literally watch me shiny hunt live right now as we do that. So we'll do that, and then yeah, once again, the reminder is the prizes are shiny Grimmsnarl, a shiny Umbreon, and a shiny Porygon 2. So look out for those. As we move into next month, I'm actually not really sure. So Series 12 was announced last night, or 2 nights ago. It was announced on the 1st, and for those of you that haven't heard, it is a double restricted format with Dynamax, which is known as the GS Cup, and that format, on top of being just what was announced, is also going to be 7 months instead of the typical 3, and is what is going to be used at Worlds. So I have a lot of different thoughts. I feel like a lot of people were upset with Series 11 with 1 restricted, because it became this really big game of roulette of, oh, is your restricted countered by whatever their restricted is, and if so, like, the game kind of automatically works in a certain way, and it almost feels over. Whereas this way, you can kind of defend your restricted with your other one, and it gives you, I think, a lot more flexibility. On top of that, you do have a lot more options in terms of restricteds, because now you have some of the more support-oriented ones, mainly Zamazenta, being able to kind of have a place, because it's not like, oh, my only restricted slot is going to this. It's now you have Zamazenta as well as something to be supported with Zacian. That being said, I do think Zacian is going to be everywhere. I think Kyogre is going to be everywhere, and so now you kind of have to consider all of these different checks when building teams. I think the format is going to be a little bit more hyper offense than I would ideally have liked, but I mean, that is the way it is. One thing that I am really worried about is burnout. I know that with some of these formats, people tend to burn out very quickly just because of the fact that it is so long, and I've already seen a bunch of tours for Series 12, and it's just, I'm worried that by doing it this way, we might have people lose interest, but at the same time, it also gives the metagame more time to develop. So I think in terms of having in-person events, having something more consistent is great, as opposed to the potential of, oh, we're going to start something right before we move into in-person events, so now people really have that time to learn. But I think one thing that really is frustrating for those of you that haven't seen the rules, it specifically stated the dex numbers of Pokemon that are allowed, and basically the long story short is we are not going to be able to use the Pokemon from BDSP or Legends Arceus for I think the most part. I think anything that has like a Hisuian form should be fine, but I think it is really frustrating that there was this big emphasis on the idea of like home being incorporated and all these new games, and we just don't get to use the Pokemon that come from that. And I know I was personally really excited for that. I know that there's definitely arguments against it, mainly Smeargle and what that can kind of do to a meta. So having Smeargle gone is always nice, but at the same time, there are other Pokemon I think that really would have been interesting to see and really shape the meta. So I think missing out on the BDSP and Legends Arceus Pokemon is a little frustrating. I think that the format being so long risks people burning out, especially because it feels like it is going to be a very offensive format, right? You have 2 restricteds that normally are going to be offensive threats as well as Dynamax, so it's just like you have up to 3 things that are really going to be your main sources of damage and just trying to stay on the field. So hopefully burnout isn't a thing. I think it does allow for really fun combinations in terms of what restricteds you use and hopefully some fun new strategies. So yeah, I'm going to try and build some fun stuff for that. I'm also going to try and use the rest of this month to do some fun things as we wrap things up. I have a couple of Pokemon that I just want to use. This team kind of was an example of that with Tauros and Rotom Mow, where it was more just like, hey, I want to use these Pokemon because they're fun. It feels like the ladder is really volatile right now with everyone hearing the news and just like natural Series 11, so controller drift. So yeah, those are kind of just my general thoughts. I feel like as the format kind of evolves, I want to definitely do like a hindsight after the first month, but TLDR, giveaway happening later this month. I will also announce the prizes for the subsequent month, and then we'll kind of see what happens with Series 12. And so yeah, with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.